Hello everybody and welcome to a mod spotlight on a mod I have found called Ancient Gems. So this mod is genius in my opinion, and there are a lot of features to go over. Also, here are my little day and night command blocks. So I have yellow glass for day and black glass for night. Also, I have turned off daylight cycles so that I can show off some light influencing blocks off on their own. So let's get started. So first what you'll notice is these. So all the ores have been turned into their ancient gems counterparts. So same spawn rates, but these standard ores just look like normal stone, so you would have no idea unless you're using Wayla, like I am currently. And so, as you'll see, with lapis, redstone, coal, and nether quartz ore, you can see that it is the blocks of this resource inside the ore. And so, when I break these, it'll just give me standard items like normal. It is affected by fortune, and I'll get into how I made this reinforced pickaxe in a minute. Coal, and so you'll see the redstone does still light up like normal, and the blocks light up, but I've done a little bit of testing, and I think there may be a glitch with the redstone unlighting itself. So now, another thing I would like to add, they have changed the metal textures for gold and iron, but they do not look like their block counterparts. In fact, all these metal resources, since the mod has added 6 of its own metals, titanium, zinc, and copper, which can be found in the overworld, which are tier 2 metals, as I like to call them, with the same strength as iron, and then the tier 1s, platinum, aluminum, and silver, with the same strength as gold. All the tier 1 metals also have nether counterparts. So now, as you can see, the gold does not look like its block counterpart. In fact, none of these do. They have instead taken to just recoloring the textures, because if you see, looking at all of them side by side, it's just a redone texture for each one. It's the same texture basis. So also the block variants of each of the Minecraft blocks for iron, gold, diamond, emerald, they've been changed to better fit this mod too. Also, here is a row of all the gemstones from the overworld. And so as you can see, these overworld gemstones, like for example, take this zircon, it looks like it's got these small pillars poking out of it at an angle. And then if we go over and look at the nether ores, they just look more like a kind of flower blossom coming out of the block, which I think is really cool that they have provide variation between the two. And so now here's some diamond ore, and I'm going to show you. I break it, and it gives me fragments and cobblestone. So now, I did this with a non-fortune diamond pickaxe, and I also got 3 fragments, so I don't know whether that's affected by fortune or not. I think it is. I think I just got unlucky. And so, 4 of these fragments, also these fragments can be used for lamps and lava lamps. I'll get to that in a second. 4 of these fragments can make a chunk. And so the chunk can then be turned back into fragments or smelted to make the actual gemstone. And so that is how you would get diamonds or emeralds or any of these other gemstones when playing with this mod. So then you'll also see here is a diamond lava lamp. So what I did was I took one of these diamond fragments and I combined it with a lava lamp base and a bucket of lava. So the way you get the lava lamp base is really simple. It's 6 of any tier 2 metal and 3 glass panes, kind of in the shape of a bookshelf, instead with tier 2 metal and glass. And then the lamp is 6 pieces of iron for the lamp base, and then I can use the fragment and glowstone, or a new item they've added that functions very similar to glowstone that can be found in the overworld. Also, you can flick the lever on off to produce light from the lamp. So, all the tier 2 and tier 1 metals, all the tier 2 metals, they can all be used to make iron things. Now, not necessarily iron swords, iron armor, but shears, a shield. Most of the crafting recipes that involve iron, that don't make iron items, can be replaced with any tier 2 metal. Like, I could use titanium instead of iron to make a tripwire hook or a shield, or shears or rails. So many of these that require iron, aside from the iron trapdoor and the iron door, I'm pretty sure, can be swapped out for any tier 2 metal. So now, let me see, iron bars. Yep, only iron. So anything that has iron in the name can only be crafted with iron. But anything else that uses iron in the recipe can be any tier 2 metal. I know that sounds a little bit confusing. But also, with these different tier 2 metals, let me see if the same thing applies. Because I know that there are different counterparts of these apples, like an aluminum apple, a silver apple, and a platinum apple. And so, gold can be used for powered rails, but that can only be used for gold, so I don't think the same thing applies. But a good amount of recipes that include iron can also use copper or zinc or titanium with this mod. And so, now on to all the gemstones. There are several gemstones, and here's emerald and diamond, and they all function just like the diamond ore that I just showed you. And so emeralds and diamonds, the spawn rates have not been affected, sadly. So that means emeralds are still a rare drop in mountains, and emerald isn't even the strongest. I have found that ruby, which is why I'm using a ruby sword, is the strongest gemstone out of them all. And right here is ruby. So, now the nether ores. These can be found, self-explanatorily, in the nether. So, you have all these different ores that can also make their own armor and sword counterparts. And so now over here is a chest containing all of the metals and gemstones. So here are the 4 tier 2 metals, and then the 4 tier 1 metals, as I like to call them. So all the tier 1 metals have had small texture changes that make them look a little bit more like a sponge, in my opinion. But the tier 1 metals have kind of been changed, not that much. I'm pretty sure it's because of the texture update in 1.14, because this mod pack works for 1.12, 1.14, and past 1.14. There is sadly not anything for 1.13, though. So, they have updated the iron and gold textures and fit the others to match that. They've also changed the diamond and emerald textures to look more like the other gemstones in this mod. So, now you're probably wondering how I got these reinforced items. So, let me tell you. So, with the overworld items, you can make reinforced gemstones, which any reinforced gemstone requires you to put the gemstone in the center and then surround it with the tier 2 metal, not of your choice, but each tier 2 metal has 4 reinforced gems it can make. And that is the same with the tier 1 gems. The tier 1 metals, but in a slightly different aspect. So, for example, let's see ruby. So ruby can be made to do the standard armor and tools and the block and there are no gemstone nuggets. I don't know if there are also like titanium nuggets or anything like that. And so then I surround ruby with platinum to get reinforced ruby, which I can then use with a platinum rod to make reinforced ruby tools. So now each one of these has 4 corresponding gemstones that can be found in the overworld, which that can then be used to make reinforced. So like for copper, for instance, I can use it to make the standard iron stuff like a hopper, all that, and the standard armor and tools, and the block, the compass, the bucket, the anvil. Ooh, as it turns out, copper does not... Oh, I messed up. It turns out only the tier 1 minerals are used. All the others are used for things like weapons and armor, which cannot be reinforced, along with blocks and a shield, shears, the lava lamp and lamp bases, a hopper, compass, bucket, and anvil. While all of these, like for example, let's do gold. Gold can be used for its standard crafting recipes, along with reinforcing onyx, jasper, amethyst, alexandrite, agate, and I think that's it. Yep, just those 5. So I was wrong, it's 5, not 4. It can also be used to make a key, which I'll get to in a second. Rods, which, as I showed, are needed with the corresponding reinforced mineral. And it can also make different tiered nether souls, which I'll get to in a second. Also, it can be used for the iron chest mod, which, sadly, the iron chest mod is not compatible with this mod, even though it adds zinc and silver. And so, here with the nether ores, you cannot reinforce them. Instead, you end up cursing them. And so it functions the same as reinforcing them. It buffs its status. But to do it, you need a nether soul, which I have heard that nether souls are obtained as a rare drop from mobs. Although I killed like 10 zombies and 5 pigmen, and not one of them dropped it. So it's probably a decently rare drop. And then 1 nether soul plus 2 of the tier 1 metal of your choice can make that type nether soul. And then just like the reinforcing a overworld gem, instead of just the tier 1 metal, you replace it with that nether soul. So look, the aluminum can make cursed nether ores. And also, no, that's about it. But the nether souls the standard nether souls, not the other upgrade kinds, can also be used to make nether soul rods, which work as the sticks would in a normal recipe with curse gems. So that's how that works. And now, the parasite. So, it's just an item, not something that will kill you, but you can get it from parasitized stone, and if it's in your inventory, you immediately get weakness 2, mining fatigue 2, hunger 2, and slowness 2. So, the easiest solution is just throwing it out of your inventory or picking up and putting it in a chest, because you can do either. The parasite cannot be used for anything, so they are basically useless and should be thrown in a trash can. And then you also have luminous lichen stone, which can be used to make luminous lichen dust and luminous stone, which is basically the glowstone of the overworld that can be found underground as its stone counterpart. Then, let me grab these keys. Also, while mining, you may find these locked chests. So you'll need to make a key from 2 gold, and you can right-click a chest, and it... Oh, that helmet glitched. And it can give you any, That is weird. Why are they glitching? It can give you any armor or gem. It can give you any gemstone armor or gemstone. So, I don't know if it's nether stuff too. And now the ancient skull. It says don't break, and that is for a good reason. Here I set up a little demonstration. When placed down, it will have a particle effect, and when you break it, it spawns this guy, a spectrum. So it will still drop the skull, but this guy has 200 health, 10 armor, and I'm pretty sure he did 5 hearts of damage to this villager over here. So, to an unarmored person, he'll do 5 damage, and he has 200 health, so he is essentially a boss mob. He can also jump very high, but only has a punch attack. So, if you stay at distance and attack him with a bow, you can easily take him out. Or, if you just block him off like this, you can also easily get him. Also, he drops an ancient skull. So, when you break an ancient skull, you'll probably get closer to 2. And so now, each gem can be turned into bricks. And so the bricks is 1 fragment, and then surround it with standard stone. And then 4 bricks can be turned into 4 chiseled bricks, and then the chiseled bricks can be smelted into the polished bricks. Also, with the ancient skulls, you can use them to make guardians. So the guardians do act a lot like a iron golem, in that they will attack undead mobs, and also they don't attack you unless you attack them. Now I'm pretty sure an iron golem, if you create it, won't attack you when you attack it, but these guardians most certainly will attack you even if you're the creator. Also, they seem to be a spectrum with armor. That seems to be what the skin is for them. Although it may just be a completely blank black skin. So, it's just a black standard texture wearing armor and a sword. This works for every single gemstone. I just decided to do the ruby because it's the most powerful sword. Also, while mining, you may find clematis and spiked stone. Do not try and mine either of those, because clematis, hitting it will give you poison, and hitting spiked stone will damage you. Also, sometimes in cave systems, you will find some poisonous gas. I highly advise you do not walk in it, since it'll give you poison 2 and nausea 2 for a minute. And for reference, clematis only gives you poison 1. So avoid all 3 of these blocks when caving. And so, I just wanted to show a little villager for demonstration. We'll still trade emeralds with you. So that will be an easy way of getting emerald armor and emerald tools. So now, last 3 things I want to highlight are some mobs. But I need to heal a little bit. Much better. So now, this is an ancient ghost. You can only see its eyes. It is considered an undead mob, and will attack a villager. It will also attack the player. I don't know why the Guardian's doing nothing, but it does make Enderman sounds. And as you may have saw, the, what is it called? The Spectrum does make wither sounds. So, they have been recycling Minecraft sound files to use for these mobs, which, in my opinion, is very smart for mod making, because I have made 2 mods before, none of them nearly as in-depth as this. They were mostly just experiments to get into mod making. But it is a smart move to recycle sounds when creating mobs. And then lastly, the crystallized zombie. So it looks like it's taking inspiration from the drowned. And if I can get to the right angle or get fast enough, you'll see that it's got like crystals growing out of its back and it's hunched over. It's a pretty cool texture in my opinion. Oh, and the Guardian's doing its work. So the Guardian works like an iron golem and drops the same things as an iron golem, plus a few gemstones of the block that you made it out of. It will drop iron and roses just like an iron golem though. And so I think that about sums it up for this mod. If there's anything I missed, I'll cut it in right here. So I have not seen anyone do a mod spotlight on this. And the mod author did detail a few instructions for this mod, but there are several things not included. They detailed how to get the Guardian. They detailed how to curse or reinforce gemstones, but they did not detail they didn't detail the mobs other than how to create the Guardians. So there is a decent bit unknown about this mod, like how to get the ancient skulls, and if anyone actually does play around with this mod and figure that out, then please leave a comment below telling me how, because I have no idea. This mod was released on January 1st, 2021, so as of recording this, the 1st of this year. And so far, there are a few bugs, like the monsters' particle effects are slightly to the side of them, not quite on them. And also, if I go into game mode spectator, and give myself night vision, for 1,000 seconds on level 100. I think they may need to take down the spawn rate of gems and metals a little bit, because the spawn rates for this is just insane. Also, the ancient chests, the locked chests, are pretty common, but I have not been able to I have not been able to find or obtain a nether soul or one of the ancient skulls. So I think that about does it for this mod pack review. I just want to leave a little note that this, although it looks like diamonds, is chrysocolla. So a little piece of advice when first getting into this mod: diamond rates are not changed, and just this is more of a teal blue. But if you find something that's really light blue, see, this is chrysocolla because it's a teal blue, and you see that over there right on top of the amethyst, this is diamond because it is a very light blue. All in all, I think this mod is pretty good. I like what they have done with the ore textures. I just think, since this mod is still pretty young, they do have a little bit of work to do with spawn rates for these gems, because this is just insane. Like, they're everywhere. And also, just a little bit of work to do with getting particle effects to line up. So I hope that if anyone's hoping to use this mod, they can find this video and use it as a spotlight. I have not done very extensive research onto this because I only found it this morning and was thinking, oh, no one has done this. I should probably go on ahead and do this because I find this mod pretty cool because I love experimenting with new resources in my Minecraft worlds. But as far as I know, there are no custom structures spawned with this mod, or any way to get ancient skulls in survival mode, as far as I know. That's it for this video. Please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.